The evidence that was supposed to solve everything was already gone. Not misplaced, not misfiled. Gone. By the time investigators opened the locker, it was empty. And that's when the real mystery began. Welcome to Unresolved Casefiles. Evidence lockers are meant to be the final stop in a case. They are where truth is preserved, where items are sealed, logged, and protected, sometimes for decades. Every transfer is documented. Every access is recorded, or at least, that's how it's supposed to work. In this case, investigators were confident they were close. A long-dormant file had been reopened after new information surfaced, information that pointed directly to physical evidence collected years earlier. Evidence that had once been catalogued, photographed, and stored by the book. When the request was made to retrieve it, no one expected a problem. But when the locker was unlocked, the shelf where the evidence should have been was empty. At first, officials assumed it was a clerical error. Evidence rooms handle thousands of items, some dating back decades. Boxers get moved, shelves get reorganized, labels fade. Mistakes happen, so they checked the logs. According to the records, the evidence had never been released. It had not been transferred, destroyed, or signed out for testing. There was no documentation explaining its absence. Which raised a question no one wanted to ask out loud. If the records say it's still there, then how did it disappear? The case itself had always been troubling. A suspicious death that never quite fit the official conclusion. Conflicting witness statements, timelines that didn't align, leads that stopped abruptly without explanation. For years, the lack of physical proof had been the biggest obstacle. And now, the one thing that might have answered everything was missing. Investigators began retracing the chain of custody, going back to the day the evidence was first collected. Who handled it? Who signed it in? Who had access to the locker? Who worked that shift? The list was longer than expected. Over the years, the evidence room had seen staff changes, renovations, even temporary relocations during building upgrades. Each transition introduced new hands, new keys, new opportunities for error or interference. As the review continued, inconsistencies emerged, a signature that didn't match known handwriting, a date that conflicted with staffing records, a logged inspection that no one could remember conducting. None of it proved wrongdoing, but together, it painted an unsettling picture. The question shifted from where the evidence went to when it vanished. Was it removed recently, once the case was reopened? Or had it been gone for years, unnoticed until someone finally asked for it? And if it was removed intentionally, who would benefit? Theories began to circulate quietly. Some suggested the evidence may have been destroyed accidentally during a purge, mislabeled as belonging to a closed case. Others believed it had been taken for testing and never returned, lost in bureaucratic limbo. Then there was the theory no one wanted to entertain, that someone removed it on purpose. Evidence doesn't disappear on its own. It requires access, knowledge, opportunity, and motive. As scrutiny increased, former employees were contacted. Some were cooperative. Others claimed no memory of the item at all. A few expressed shock that it was missing, insisting they remembered seeing it years earlier. Memories conflicted. Records offered no clarity. The absence of the evidence created a ripple effect. Without it, prosecutors had nothing new to work with. Defense teams argued that the missing item undermined the integrity of the entire investigation. Families searching for answers were left with renewed uncertainty. Instead of bringing closure, reopening the case exposed a deeper problem. If evidence can vanish without explanation, how many other cases are affected? And how would anyone know? As public attention grew, officials released a statement acknowledging the missing evidence, but stopping short of admitting fault. An internal review was launched. Policies were reevaluated. Procedures were reinforced. But none of that answered the central question. What happened to the evidence? Some believe it was lost through negligence, a casualty of outdated systems and human error. Others are convinced it was removed deliberately to prevent the case from ever being solved. There is also the possibility that it still exists somewhere, misfiled, mislabeled, sitting unnoticed on a shelf, waiting to be found. But years later, it hasn't resurfaced. The case remains stalled, suspended in uncertainty, not because the truth is unknowable, but because the proof meant to reveal it is missing. And that absence speaks volumes. When evidence disappears, it doesn't just affect one investigation. It erodes trust in a system meant to protect the truth. It raises doubts about how many answers have been lost, how many stories remain incomplete, and how many people are still waiting. Someone knows what happened to that evidence. Someone knows when it was removed, or why it was never returned. Whether it was carelessness or intent, the silence surrounding its disappearance is as troubling as the case itself. Until the evidence is found, or its fate is confirmed, the mystery remains. Not locked away, not sealed, but missing. If you want to see more real cases where the truth was buried, lost, or never fully revealed, consider subscribing to Unresolved Casefiles. Liking the video helps these stories reach more people, and every share keeps unanswered questions alive. Because sometimes, the biggest mystery isn't what happened. It's what disappeared.